Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at file handling, specifically dangers of overwriting and deleting your existing data, and how the exam reference language handles it completely different to Python. So let's do a scenario. We're going to do a new game, a new high score, and we're going to save it into a file. So let's do Python first. File, we need a blank variable equals open high scores.txt, and we're going to use W. So far we've got a new variable, empty variable. We're going to open up a new file. We need to give it a file name, and we use the code W. Usually we say write, but it's actually overwrite. So whatever contents is in the file will be overwritten. I'm going to do file.write. Let's say Dan scored 50. And then we do file. Actually, let's do it without that last line, see what happens. So it created a file name Dan 50, and it tells you here you should always close your files. File.close. You should always close the file at the end to let the editor know we're finished with that file currently and that we're saving the file. So when you run it again, Control Enter, it does the same thing, but it is clear. So let's say we want to store another person's scores, another score equals, and file, it doesn't have to be called file. We can give it another name. File2 equals open the same files, .txt, W, file2 .write. Let's do another person. Let's say Shaquille dash scored 90. File2 dot close. Always close your files. Usually in the exam you get 1 mark for opening the file correctly and 1 mark for closing the file as well at the end. So that's an easy mark. Or they may have fill in the blank questions where what is the keyword to open? So you write open. What is the keyword that needs to go here, which will be close. So it's useful to remember those 2 words. We might get you just those 2 marks. Okay, it says file2 is not defined on line 5. Oh, I did minus, it should be equals. File2 equals open. So as you can see, Dan's score got completely wiped out, and this Shaquille score got overwritten. It cleared the whole file out. So this is what the W does. It overwrites any data that's already in there. Instead, we can change this to an A. Press play. Now it does Dan 50, Shaquille 90. And you can see they're both on the same line though. Now the way to fix that, we're going to use a command here, /n. What that does, it tells the computer, the editor, that we want to write the next line, or press enter, go to the next new line. So we press there we got Shaquille 90. So if we comment this out, Control/ comment all of these lines out and append, and we press play, it will keep on adding. We want to do /n as well here, and it will keep on adding the scores, the same score, append means add to the file, next file. Okay, so how is it done in OCR reference language? Let's go to our OCR exam reference language editor, clear this out. Very similar, but instead of I think the exam reference language is pretty easier to use. We write new file, we give the file name. Let's do high score .txt. Let's just run that. An empty high scores gets created. Then we're going to write score file equals, now we're going to open it, and this is our new variable. We're going to call it score file. Open that file we just created, high scores.txt. And with OCR reference language, there is no codes. They're all open it up and it's ready to be appended, it always appends to a new line. Score file dot write line this time. So just we write line, and let's do Abdul. He scored 200, and we should always close the file as well. So let's do play. Let's see what happens. It wrote Abdul 200 here, but it tells you forgot to close the file. Always close the file. Close is very similar. As you can see here, this time around, we didn't need to use the W code. We didn't need to use the new line code. It does it for us. So I'm going to copy this, paste it underneath, and add another score. Let's say let's do X scored 300. Control Enter, and it appends it to the bottom of the file without having to change any codes. We don't even need to do the /n because it does that automatically for us. So the OCR reference language, I believe, is much easier and simpler. That's how you write to a file. So that's the most basic parts of OCR reference. Also, just want to point out, I'm going to delete the file underneath in the virtual file. The file's gone, and I'm going to delete this line, new file, press play, and it will give you error. The file doesn't exist. We need to, in OCR reference language, create the file first before we can open it and write to it. When we press play, it runs it again. But if the file exists already and we add some new scores, say Raj scored 150, and let's say Izzy scored 10, and we press play, and it adds the new content at the bottom of the file. We don't need to use, again, any codes, any slashes. We just need to remember to write line. Because the file already exists, it adds it to the bottom of the file. Now, I find the OCR reference language much easier. So we've covered both sides of it, how to do it in Python and OCR reference language. Only difference, again, I reiterate, OCR reference language, you don't need to use any codes. You don't need to use any /n to get to a new line. And it's all right, we write line. And same again, we need to close the files on both. And when you want to append, you just need to delete the new file. The new file, what that does is creates a blank new document. It clears out any file. So we don't use the new file command in OCR reference language. That's it for writing. Next video will be on reading from a file.